Okay, going to go live in just a moment here. Making some final preparations. The chat is open. Feel free to say hello in the chat at any time. We'll give about 30 seconds and then we're going to go live officially. And that's enough music. All right. Welcome back to WMMA Now with your host, Chuck Stamos, and welcome to episode 143 of the WMMA Report show, where we go over or try to go over everything that's going on within the world of the women's divisions of mixed martial arts. News, fight reviews, fight previews, rankings, updates, discussion topics, you name it, it gets covered in this show. Actually slightly condensing this show a little bit. Not going to cover the news for this week, but do got a lot of fights to go over, both last weekend and this weekend. It's already Friday night, nothing going on tonight, but early tomorrow morning, we've got Ryzen, and then we got some more fights throughout the entire weekend. Lots to look forward to and talk about. So let's get into it. So, normally I actually show my face during these live streams, but I've got some burns from some medication on my face, so trying to heal those up before next week. So that's why I'm not, showing myself like I normally am. All right, so let's get into the fight reviews. So starting all the way back last Friday, we had LFA 157 on Fight Pass. Had several ladies bouts. First one, talk about Marnik Mann defeated Amber Brown in a strawweight bout via unanimous decision. Mann climbed to 6-1. Brown fell to 7-7. Man, I was nothing against Marnik Mann, but I was really hoping that Amber Brown would be able to pull this off. She's had like the worst year. She lost her daughter last year, and she was supposed to fight that weekend too, and that fell through. And then she was supposed to fight Celine Haga a month ago, and that fight fell through. And then she was able to pick up this fight in LFA, and just didn't go her way. Congrats to Marnik Mann. Amber Brown, don't give up. Stay strong. I feel for Amber. Also on that card had a bantamweight championship. I believe, it was vacant bantamweight championship. Jacqueline Cavalcanti defeated Melissa Croden via unanimous decision after 5 rounds. Cavalcanti improved to 5-1. Croden fell to 4-2. I wasn't sure how this fight was going to go. I thought it was going to be 50-50. Croden's looked good up to now. Mostly, but neither fighter had really fought like some good competition. Cavalcanti's best win before this was against Yulia Kutsenko, who was 6-8 at the time. But one thing I did not take into account, and I should have taken this into account. Cavalcanti is she's sporting the Portuguese flag, but I'm pretty sure she's Brazilian. Oh no, she's Portuguese. Oh. Well, that totally screws up that plan. I was going to say Cavalcanti's Brazilian, and Brazilian versus a non-Brazilian in LFA, the non-Brazilian fighters being set up. But Cavalcanti's Portuguese. That's close enough, though. Same language. So congrats to Jacqueline Cavalcanti, the new LFA bantamweight champion. Then we moved to Also on Friday night, we had one Fight Night 9, and this was on Amazon Prime if you're in the US and Canada. YouTube for pretty much everywhere else, or most places. First up, at 125 pounds, Mung Bo defeated Diane Cardoso via unanimous decision. Mung Bo climbed to 21-6. Cardoso fell to 9-2-1. Mung Bo looked good here. She looked good in this fight. And by the end, Cardoso, she just had like nothing left in the tank. Yeah, Mung Bo, she's probably going to get a title shot off of this. There's no one else for one championship to put in against her at 125 pounds against the champ Seong. So yeah, Mung Bo likely earned a title shot off of this. Plus, Cardoso is coming off a finish against Ayaka. I can't remember her name now. Ayaka Miura, Zombie Girl. So she was coming in with a strong win into this fight. But Mung Bo, it was a good fight, but yeah, this is a good win for Mung Bo. Then down at 115 pounds, Denise Zamboanga defeated Julie Meza Barba via unanimous decision. Zamboanga climbed to 10-2. Meza Barba fell to 9-5-1. And this is another one. It wasn't a very eventful fight, but Denise looked pretty good here. So, and in the one atomweight division, the last three fights in that division, we've had ranked fighters fighting unranked fighters, and the ranked fighters all won. So now it's time to get these ranked fighters in and fighting each other. Then on Friday night, had Bellator 294, which had two ladies' fights in Hawaii. First up, Sarah McMahon defeated Arlene Blenko via unanimous decision. McMahon climbed to 14-6. Blenko fell to 15-10. Wrestling was key here. Or McMahon's wrestling was definitely key. I would say Blenko was winning on the feet, but McMahon really just didn't give her a whole lot of time to spend on it. I had it 2-1. I gave McMahon the first and second rounds, and I think I gave Blenko the third round. If I remember correctly, Blenko did a better job on the feet. Wasn't as easy to take down in his first two rounds. But the very, very, very shallow Bellator women's featherweight division now has a new contender on its hands because Blenko is what, a 3-time title challenger in that division? And McMahon beat her easily enough. So, yeah, McMahon's definitely a title challenger in that division. On her, not only her promotional debut, but her featherweight debut. First time McMahon fighting at featherweight. Fought her entire career up to now at bantamweight. So congrats to Sarah McMahon, showing that she's still got some gas in the tank at 42 years old. Then in the main event, Liz Carmouche defeated Deanna Bennett in what ended up being a non-title bout. Carmouche climbed to 19-7. Bennett fell to 13-8-1. Carmouche won via arm triangle choke submission, 4:29 of round 4. You know, Deanna Bennett. Leave it to Deanna to be ahead on the scorecards and then throw it away. I had Bennett winning the fight like 2-1 or 3-0. And she goes out in the fourth round and gets submitted. Also, she lost. Also, she was ineligible for the title because she lost weight. So she not only lost out on an opportunity to be champion, she lost a chance to get revenge on Carmouche for an earlier loss. I like Deanna Bennett, but man, she makes it hard to be a fan. She really does. right. Hold on a second. I got to write something down. I just remembered something I wanted to talk about. Okay. So then we move to Saturday. Bellator 295 had 3 ladies bouts. So we had 2 Bellator cards 2 days in a row, or 2 nights in a row. First up at flyweight, Bruna Ellen defeated Alara Joani via unanimous decision. Ellen climbed to 7-4. Joani, this was the best that I think I've ever seen Bruna Ellen look in a fight. She did really well in this fight. Joani, not so well. But yeah, Bruna Ellen has not been doing so great lately. I mean, she was what? She's been alternating wins and losses all the way back to 2017 in her last, 6 fights up till now was alternating wins and losses, and comes out and beats Joani and looks really good doing it. Really nice to see some improvement from her. Also at flyweight, actually all the fights on this night were at flyweight. But Sumiko Inaba on the right-hand side there in the purple defeated Vida Ortega via unanimous decision. Inaba climbed to 6-0. Ortega fell to 7-5. Sumiko Inaba is a threat in that division. You know, I've been looking at her as a promising prospect. Had seemed pretty well-rounded until now, or looked like she was working on rounding out her game until now. But normally she's mostly been like a bit of an inside fighter, like a fighter who was keen to tie up and, get in the mix. Not so much this fight. She worked on her jab really well and mostly stayed on the range against Vida Ortega, which was the smart thing to do because you really don't want to stay around on the inside with Vida Ortega. She's gritty. I don't want to say dirty because that implies the wrong things, but Ortega as an inside fighter, she's gritty, she's grimy, she makes the fight hard on the inside. But Inaba did a very nice job here of mostly staying on the outside and picking apart Ortega and was busting her up. So very different pace. Nice change of pace here for Sumiko Inaba. Improves to 6-0. She's 32 years old. So yeah, she's got to keep progressing and she's got to do it now. Colostrum in the chat says, who do you think Sumiko should fight next? Good question. We're going to talk about the rankings in a minute, but probably maybe Deanna Bennett or Kana Watanabe. Hard to say. I mean, because if you're gonna, well, I'll get to the rankings and stuff in a minute here. Then in the co-main event, Elimele McFarland got picked up a win over Kana Watanabe via, what was it? Split decision? Yeah, split decision. McFarland climbed to 13-2. Watanabe fell to 11-2-1. This is a fight that honestly could have gone either way. I think had Watanabe been more active on the ground, it would have gone Watanabe's way. It's hard to say she got robbed, but I don't necessarily agree with the decision. Like this wasn't nearly as. I mean, this was nowhere near as bad as when Jocelyn Edwards getting a decision over Lucia Pudilova. That was bad judging. This was just really close fight, and then it was in one fighter's home state. So yeah, she got the nod. Watanabe's not really a lay and pray fighter, though. I mean, you look at her record, most of her wins are by finish. Well, I mean, yeah, the majority of her wins are by finish. 7 finishes to 4 decisions. Then on Saturday in the UFC, we had, what was this? UFC Fight Night, Pavlovich versus Blades. Had a pair of ladies bouts. First up at 145, Norma Dumont defeated Carol Hossa via unanimous decision. Dumont climbed to 9-2. Hossa fell to 16-5. Why Carol Hossa agreed to move up to 145, I don't know. Maybe they offered her more money. Maybe she just didn't feel like cutting weight. Excuse me. I think it was a mistake for her to do so. And fairly predictable fight. Then at 125, Yasmin Lucindo defeated Brogan Walker via decision. Lucindo climbed to 14-5. Walker fell to 7-4. I don't really have a whole lot, much of anything to say about this fight. I don't think either fighter is particularly good. Lucindo's now 1-1. Brogan's now 0-2. We'll see. I think Brogan should just go back to Invicta and work on some things, honestly. Lucindo saved her roster spot with this win. Plus, she had a really fun fight. I mean, she had like a fight of the year contender last year, so she's safe for a while, but she really needs to work on her game. All right, so that's it for this past weekend. Let's see what we have in the chat. Got a few people in there. Don't forget to hit that like button. Easy E says Blenko should be cut for that performance. She won the 3rd round. Jeez. And Liz, lucky she got that sub. Deanna was beating her ass easy. Yeah, I agree. Say what you want, but I've always liked Bruna Ellen. She's coming into her own. Yeah, yeah, she looked good Friday night. This is what happens when you fight top of competition. You either evolve or you don't. Good stuff from Ellen. Yeah, her problem was she was fighting fighters that were much better than her way too early in her career. Mostly she is being used to build up other fighters by Bellator. Colostrum, who do you think Samiko should fight next? I think I already got to mention that, but we'll take a look at the rankings in a second here. Is Cat and Cyborg ever going to fight? Honestly, I just can't be bothered to care. I don't want to see either of them fight anybody. So, Colostrum says, I thought Kana won. I already did that one. Colostrum, who do you think is going to win between Norma and Chelsea Chandler? Norma Dumont. Chelsea Chandler's not that good. She's mostly hype. I mean, her 2 career best wins are the same girl that Kayla Harrison beat. Except, if I remember correctly, Kayla Harrison finished her, and Chandler went to a decision. Let me check real quick here. Yeah, Courtney King. Chelsea went to a decision with her, and Harrison finished her. And then Yulia Stolyarenko, who was on how many fight losing streak at the time? Oh, she was coming off a win. Excuse me. Stolyarenko was coming off a win, but before that had lost 3 straight. So, I mean, Norma Dumont doesn't have that great of wins, but they're better than anything Chandler has. And then Easy E, Brogan is horrible. That's all I can say. She's not very good. No. And I used to think she looked promising in Invicta and did okay in the Ultimate Fighter, and then in the finals came out and just did the same thing every single round and allowed Juliana Miller to win. Yeah, Brogan needs to go back to the regionals. So that's it for Let's talk rankings, ranking updates. Actually, here, let me give you guys a better view. Is that a little bit better? All right, so no UFC updates after this weekend because the fighters were all unranked. Let's look at Bellator rankings, though. So Sarah McMahon made her debut and beat the then number 2 ranked Arlene Blenko, forcing pretty much everybody below her to move down except Diana Silva. I'm not sure how that works. Looks like someone might have been removed. Yeah, someone got removed, it looks like, although I'm not sure. Here's my problem with these rankings. I don't think having a single fight in the division and then beating someone high ranked should necessarily put you all in their previous spot. Now, should the loser of that fight go down? Yes. Should McMahon be as high as number 2? Not necessarily. No. No. Any other division, I would say absolutely not. But considering that it's featherweight, I don't have a problem. Here's what I have an even bigger problem with these rankings, though. Sarah McMahon, in one fight, has beaten a fighter ranked higher than anybody that Kat Zingano has beaten in the women's featherweight division. Yet Zingano is ranked at number 1. So, why is Zingano at number 1 other than because they want her to be there? Her best win was against Leah McCourt. Leah McCourt is currently sitting at 5. McMahon beat number 2 Blenko. McMahon, in all honesty, if we're going to go base these rankings off of achievements, McMahon has done more in one fight than Zingano has done in 3. Whether or not either of those two would beat the champ Cyborg, I don't know. I would give McMahon a better chance than Zingano, though. And then at women's flyweight, some big moves here. So, Diana Avsaragova moved down number 2 spots from 7 to 8. Although none of these other people moved, which doesn't explain anything. Sumiko Inaba moved up 4 spots to number 5. With her win over Vita Ortega. Okay, how do you move her up from 9? Okay, I see. Okay. So Avsaragova was at 7. She's technically moved down 2 spots. Her and Elara Joani are tied, though, at 8. Okay, I missed that. Inaba moved up 4 spots from 9 to 5. Kielholtz only moved down 1 spot. How do you move up 4 spots over beating Vida Ortega? Like, I get it. Inaba has a lot of hype, and she's earned the hype. Well, I won't say she has a lot of hype. She has some hype behind her, and she has earned it. So I flying to 5 after beating number 7, I don't quite understand that. And then Ilima McFarland and Kana Watanabe replaced each other. Basically traded spots. So those are your ranking updates. So let's catch up in the chat. Colostrum, Whaley versus Lemos. Who would you pick and in what round? I haven't even looked at that fight yet because it hasn't even been announced yet, so I haven't really started to give too much thought to it. Easy E, Whaley. Lemos is pretty aggressive, and I can see Whaley countering her a lot. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely. I mean, I would go with Whaley in that fight. Just not sure when or how. Just Wave says, hey, how you doing, Just Wave? Says, hope all is well with you, Chuck. Last WMMA report was a while ago. Yeah, I want to say January. I've been working like a lot and just exhausted when I'm not working. So, going to try to make these a regular thing again. Easy E, well, yeah, why not push McMahon? Who else you got? Zingano is a placement holder for Cyborg whenever she decides she wants to fight. Yeah, and honestly, when was the last time Cyborg even fought? Yeah, I would push McMahon. All Zingano had coming into this was that before before Nunes lost to Pena, Zingano was the last fighter to beat Nunes. And that's the only thing she had going for her at this stage in the game, was that she was the last fighter to beat Amanda Nunes. Well, guess what? That's meaningless now because Pena got that win. And that's really why Cyborg wanted to fight her. She wanted a win over someone who had beaten Amanda Nunes. And then she could hold it over like, oh, I beat someone that beat you and you never got the win back. And yeah, her laugh would be deeper than mine, that's for sure. Bush McMahon. She's a great story, Olympic silver medalist. And honestly, she's looked better recently than Zingano has. Also, Easy, I don't see Liz defending that title again. She hasn't looked good winning it or defending it. She looked pretty good in her first title defense against Velasquez. But no, she didn't look good against Deanna Bennett this time. All right, let's move into the weekend preview. Got some good fights this weekend. So, early tomorrow morning, we have Ryzen Landmark 5. And I believe these fights are going to be in a cage. This is in Yoyogi National Stadium in Tokyo. Got 2 ladies fights. Oh, wait, I have them out of order. All right, first up, we have Kana Asakura taking on Vivi May Yamaguchi. Vivi May got her release from one championship and has returned to Japan to finish out her career. Asakura comes in at 19-7. Vivi May coming in at 21-14-1. both of these fighters are on the downslope of their careers. Even though Asakura is only 25, she's lost 3 of her last 4 fights. She's coming off a loss into this one. Yamaguchi has lost 3 of her last she's lost her last 3 straight, going all the way back to 2020, when she lost to Denise Zamboanga, and then lost to Julie Meza Barba, and then just a little over a year ago lost to Gian Radzuan. Asakura is coming in off of a loss to Shiyu Park. Was that 8 months ago? So yeah, neither fighter has fought recently. This is going to be an interesting one. I see it mostly playing out on the ground. I'd say that's where both of these two do their best work. Asakura's striking has never really panned out for her. Vivi May still has power in her right hand, the overhand right, but she winds up on it too much. And it's kind of easy to see coming. This is a hard one to pick, mostly because I don't know. I don't know who's going to be able to pull one out in this one. Because, I mean, neither of them have been doing well lately. I mean, could go with Asakura based on the youth factor. You could go with Vivi May based on the experience factor, but Asakura has a lot of experience too. Honestly, she doesn't have that much less experience than Yamaguchi. May was fighting bigger fighters over there at one championship, cutting back down to 108 pounds, 49 kilograms for Ryzen now. This will be interesting. I'm going to go with Asakura. Yeah, I'm going to go with Asakura. I mean, like I said, they're both winding down their careers. But at least Asakura still has youth on her side. She's 25 years old, whereas May doesn't, and she's slowed down a lot. Then we have this is the fight I'm really looking forward to. Reina taking on Claire Lopez. Always loved watching Reina fight, and Lopez I'm pretty high on right now. Coming in, she's representing Combate Global in this fight. Looking forward to this one. So Reina's coming in at 13-4. Lopez coming in at 7-4. So Reina definitely has the experience. Both fighters coming in off of recent wins preceded by losses. Reina picked up a win over Anastasia Svetkivska 7 months ago. Lopez last fought 8 months ago. Defeated Camila Rivarola. And Combate. That was a really nice win, too. Lopez is a little bit older, 34-31 for Reina. Everything else is pretty much the same. This one's also tough to pick, but for different reasons. Both hit hard, and this is at a catch weight, by the way, 51 kilograms, so that's 112-ish pounds, around there. A weird catch weight for some reason. Both have power in their hands. Both are capable of catching a quick submission. I would say Reina is definitely the better all-around striker. Lopez does more with her hands, whereas Reina is a kickboxer. And like I said, both can catch a quick submission. I would say one thing that benefits Reina more is that she can go into deep waters. She's been to decision way more than Lopez has. Claire's only been to decision once. Everything else was either first round victory for her or losses, first round losses for her? Oh, she has one loss in the second round. Okay, no, she's been to the second round twice and has one decision win. So she's 1-1 in finishes going to the second round and has won her only decision. But mostly she is a first round finisher. So if this goes past the first round, you do have to wonder, does Lopez have the cardio to keep up with Reina? Especially if she's down after the first round. That's a big question. Can she take Reina out? She's definitely capable of it. Is Reina capable of taking out Claire Lopez? Definitely. Um, this is pretty much a 50-50 fight, and I am all in for this one, huh? I mean, I'm going to be up early tomorrow anyway for this one, but if you want to check it out, you can buy it on Fight TV, FITE.tv, or you can download the Fight TV app and watch it on your mobile devices, which is what I'll be doing because I got to go to work early tomorrow. I'm very much excited for this one. 50-50 fight. I truly don't know who's going to win. I lean slightly towards Reina. It'll be really interesting to see Lopez's career trajectory, though, if she beats Reina. Because she's been fighting as a strawweight. She wants to move down to atom weight. She's been wanting to. Hasn't been able to get fights in Combate at atom weight. Nobody wants to fight her down there. It's been really interesting. So I'm very much looking forward to this one. Twist my arm, I'll go Reina. But like I said, I think this is a 50-50 fight. Also on Saturday, I'm not sure. Well, it's 6 p.m. in Quezon City. So like around 5 a.m. in the U.S. is Underground Battle MMA 41. I don't know if this will be available streaming anywhere, but it's taking place in the Philippines. It's all Team Philippines versus Team Korea. And they've got one ladies bout, Jung Yoon Che here, taking on, what's her name? Christina Conrado. I followed Che's career. Don't know anything about Christina Conrado. I can't even find a fight record for her. I think Jung Yoon Che is like 2-3 or 2-2, something like that. I'm guessing this is her debut. I don't know. Probably fighting at bantamweight. I wish I could find more about this because I would like to see Jung Yoon Che's fight. Actually, just looks like an all-around interesting card, period. But yeah, I can't give you any more stats on anything other than that. But if I find out any results, I'll try to let you know. And Saturday we have UFC. Was it Vegas 72? They're calling it, or I don't know. They got like a million different names for these. Song versus Simone. Has 2 ladies bouts. 3 of them are making their UFC debut. Actually, this is the lower one. First up at bantamweight. Oh, 2 bantamweight bouts too. First up, we have Haley Cowan taking on Jamie Lynn Horth. Cowan coming in at 7-2. Horth coming in at 5-0. She's undefeated. Cowan was supposed to fight. She had like 2 different fights scheduled, and both ended up being canceled. Cowan had to pull out the first one with a trip to the hospital, and then her opponent had to pull out last minute the last time. Third time's a charm for her. Jamie Lynn Horth getting called up. She's been fighting at flyweight too, so she's moving up in weight for this bout. Cowan comes in. Yeah, I already gave you that. Cowan comes in at 7-2. Horth 5-0, so she's undefeated. Cowan's coming in off of 2 straight wins. Last fought on the Contender Series 7 months ago, defeating Claudia Leite. Jamie Lynn last fought a year and 4 months ago, defeating Myra Cantuaria via submission in LFA. Horth's the Elder Fighter 33 to 31 for Cowan. Cowan did miss weight for this bout. It should be noted. Going to go with Haley Cowan. I'm going to go with Cowan here. She's been preparing for this for a while. Horth took this fight on somewhat short notice, something like a month, and moving up in weight. I'm going to go with Cowan. Oop. Then also, it's supposed to be at bantamweight. This is now a catchweight bout. Stephanie Egger taking on Irina Alekseeva. Alekseeva on the right-hand side there, making her UFC debut. And she missed weight as well. Egger coming in at 8-3. Alekseeva coming in at 4-1. Both ladies coming in off of wins, preceded by a loss. Egger beat Island Perez 6 months ago. Alekseeva has not fought in a year and 5 months. Beat Stephanie Paj in Bellator, Bellator's Russian show. Egger's older, 34 to 32 for Alekseeva. Both ladies are judoka, so both have a judo background. I'm going to go with Egger here. She has the experience. She has, most of her opponents have more experience than Alekseeva's opponents. And Egger's been more active. I mean, she has, in the same time since Alekseeva last fought. So it's been a year and 5 months since Alekseeva fought. Stephanie Egger has fought 3 times. If you go back all the way a year and 5 months, she fought 4 times. So she fought around the same period Alekseeva fought, and then fought 3 times since then. So she has activity on her side too. So I'm going to go with Stephanie Egger. Easy E says, I thought this inflation was hurting everybody in the buying food department. Everyone is getting fat and missing weight but me. I've been gaining weight too, I think, so I can't say anything. Healthy food is expensive. Like, honestly, buying good, healthy, nutritional food, it's not cheap. It's more expensive than buying the garbage, like the processed foods and junk like that, the junk food. I mean, that stuff's getting pricey too, but it's still cheaper than like buying all healthy, nutritional stuff. It's ridiculous. I mean, I'm drinking a soda right now. It's only 1.25 liter. I thought this was 1.5. Son of a. I thought this was 1.5 liters. I think they shrunk the size of the bottle. Used to be 1.5 liters. But it's like one and a quarter liter of soda for $1.50 at the grocery store. That's still cheap. So yeah, junk food's cheap. Good food is pricey. Anyway, moving on, we back to the fights. Sunday morning, early Sunday morning, if you're in the Western Hemisphere. We have Pancrase 333. We have 4 fights on this card. 2 of them title fights. The first ladies' bout is a pair of debutants. Chiyo Takamoto taking on Hanuka Shigeta. Both are making their pro debut. I don't have any. Only real stats I have available is that Hanuka Shigeta on the right is 19. Chiyo Takamoto is 18. Looks like At least on Tapology, they have some amateur fights for Chio. She's 3-1, it looks like, as an amateur. Yep. Other than that, I have nothing on these two, so I couldn't make a pick. Then we have a strawweight bout between Emi Fujino and Edna Traquinas. And I believe this is, or Edna Oliveira. And if memory serves me, yes, this is a rematch. They fought 3.5 years ago. And this was supposed to be for the, excuse me, it was a 4-fighter strawweight tournament to crown inaugural strawweight queen of Pancrase, if I remember correctly. Or no, I think the title was vacant. It wasn't the inaugural title, but it was vacant. And so they had a 4-woman tournament to crown the champion. And Fujino fought Edna in the first round, and Edna broke her hand or broke her wrist, and had lost due to injury. And she fought since then? Yeah, she's fought a bunch since then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in that time, since that was in September of 2019. Let's see. Edna's fought 6 times since then. She won her next 2 fights, and is on a 4 straight. Wow, She's on a 4-fight skid coming into this bout. Last fought in October, lost via second round guillotine and down at SFT in Brazil. Fujino in that time has gone 2-2. She beat Hyunji John to become the champ, to capture the vacant title. Lost to Ayaka Hamasaki in Ryzen. Then she lost the title to Karen a year ago. And then after that, picked up a win over Ayaka Watanabe 6 months ago. Let's see here. Overall records, Fujino is 26-13. Edna Oliveira is 10-11-1. So she has an upside down record. She is 10 years younger, 32-42 for Fujino. I'm going to go with Fujino here. I mean, Edna's coming in on a 4-fight skid. That doesn't bode well for her. But Fujino has not looked good in her last several fights either. I mean, she is 42 years old, and she has really showed her age. So it could go either way, but I'm going to go with Fujino to win here. Then we have the first of 2 title fights. Strawweight Championship, Karen taking on Salt. So to this day, I still don't know what Karen's actual name is. Salt is Haruka Hasegawa. This is a rematch. Last time they fought was in their last respective fights, and Salt won via unanimous decision. Surprised a lot of people. And that was a non-title bout. So Karen is still the strawweight champion, or Queen of Pancrase, as they call it. Let's see. She's 6-1. Salt is 2-2. Karen was undefeated until that time. Let's see. Salt is much older than Karen. She's 32. Karen is 20 or 19. I'm going to go with Salt to win this one. I mean, she just really shut down the striking of Karen. And Karen couldn't even really get close to get any takedowns. She doesn't really have to change much to beat Karen again. whereas Karen has to do a lot of things different. Also, Salt had like a 4-inch height advantage at 5'6" to 5'2", and it really showed. And she knew how to use that height and reach advantage. She just has a lot less adjustments to make from the last fight to this one, whereas Karen has to make a lot of adjustments. I like Karen. I'd like to see her continue winning, but I think Salt's going to take it, and she'll have earned that title. Then we have yet, hey, surprise, surprise, seems to be a theme in Pancrase this weekend. The Flyweight Championship is going to be a rematch. Takeyoshi taking on Nori. Hashi coming in at 18-8-1. Nori coming in at 5-5-1. Hashi has won her last 2 straight fights, including her most recent one was the win over Nori a year and a half ago. Nori has fought twice since then. She picked up a draw against Aoi Kuriyama, and then picked up a win against Mikako Shimizu 4 months ago over there in Deep Jewels. Wow. Hashi is 21 years older than Nori. Nori is 24, Takeyoshi is 45, which makes her one of the oldest active women fighters right now in the world. How did the last fight go? It went to decision. Who's Hashi beat lately? This could go either way. I mean, Hashi already beat Nori once. Could beat her again. She's 45. And it's not like the competition she's beaten has been particularly strong. I mean, besides Nori, she beat Emiko Raika, who isn't that great. And she had 2 straight losses before that. Yeah, this one could honestly go either way, so I don't really have a pick here. Oh, also, you might notice this little symbol here. Pancrase is 30 years old this year. Their first event was like 2 weeks before the UFC's first ever event. So there you have it. That is your weekend preview. A couple things I want to talk about. Let me see. Yeah. Well, let's talk Combate Global first. I hate to keep harping on the same old things about these promotions. But unless they change, got to keep doing it, right? I mean, you want to see positive change, but then the positive change never happens. So you can either sit on the sidelines and just watch, or you can at least talk about it. So yeah, I feel like I need to do this. I made a video a while back talking about how Combate Global has no direction. And that was at the end of last year. Here we are in April. And they have shown 0 signs of having any direction for where they're going this year. I think they've had 1 women out of the fights they've had so far. They've had 1 fight where the 2 women facing each other were both ranked. Otherwise, it was a ranked fighter versus an unranked fighter, or just 2 unranked fighters. Then you have them signing fighters to fight on certain dates, but then they either don't have opponents or they just straight up cancel the fight and cancel the event overall. For example, last Saturday, the 22nd, both flyweight fighter Maritza Sanchez and atomweight fighter, what's her name? Anna Summers. Were both supposed to have fights, respective fights last weekend. And then their fights get canceled, and then Combate doesn't even end up having an event last weekend. Like, did they have that many fights fall through that they completely canceled whatever plans they had? Or did they just have no actual concrete plan? Honestly, with them, either one is likely. Neither one would surprise me. Now, I know from her social media that Anna Summers has another fight lined up already with them. I think Maritza Sanchez has a date lined up. Who knows if she has a fight lined up? It's hard to say. But again, what direction are they going in? They waited until like late March or mid-March to start putting on events after going from, so they took off half of December, no fights in January, no fights in February, and then mid to late March they finally started having events. So that's like 3 straight months of no events. You can't run MMA as if it's a season and then say, oh, we're taking a break for the season. See you next season. Combat sports is not seasonal based. PFL's trying it. It's not working. IFL tried that in the mid 2000s. Didn't really work. Didn't work out for them. You can't have a season for combat sports. It's an individual sport and it's all indoors, so it doesn't depend on what time of year it is. It's all year long. You have to be putting on fights all year long. And you have to have some idea of what you're going to do with these fights. Combate Global's problem is that they don't treat themselves like a fight promotion. They treat themselves like how their network sees them, which is a time slot filler. They're just there to be on TV and provide content. They're content filler for Univision. They're content filler for Paramount Plus. You can't run a fight promotion that way. You're screwing with fighters' careers doing that. And again, why are they not mapping out championship fights? They have one championship belt in that entire promotion in one weight division. Now, they had a strawweight champion, a women's strawweight champion at one time. They haven't had one since her. She's now off in the UFC. And they haven't crowned a women's champion in any weight class since then. Why? What is taking so long? They need to find a direction. They need to make fights with a sense of purpose behind them. Otherwise, what is the point in watching your promotion? What are you offering? Entertaining fights? Yeah, sometimes. They're certainly not high-level fights for the most part. But you have to provide something. Otherwise, why should any fighter want to fight for you? Because you're not really advancing their careers. I just don't know. I didn't really write this out or plan what to say for this, but yeah, Combate is nothing has changed since the last time I talked about them. There's no direction to what they're doing. Another topic I wanted to talk about. This was driving me nuts since last weekend. Liz Carmouche had a real galaxy brain take on Deanna Bennett. Basically, she said basically she accused Deanna Bennett of missing weight on purpose because, I mean, Deanna Bennett does have a habit of missing weight. I forget how many times she's done it in her career. Let me look that up real quick. Let's see. So she missed weight last weekend. She missed weight back in 2021 against Alejandra Lara. She fought Liz Carmouche at a catch weight, which I don't remember if that was supposed to be a flyweight bout or if it was a catch weight because of Deanna missing weight. Now, she really doesn't have that big of a. Does have a catch weight against Karina Rodriguez way back in 2018 in Invicta. I mean, so she has somewhat of a history of losing weight or missing weight. Looks like the first time these two fought, it might have been set for 125, and then Deanna missed, so they made it a catch weight. But Carmouche, or Carsnooze, as I like to call her because I find her boring, said Deanna Bennett missed weight on purpose to cheat in order to gain an advantage in the fight. But to me, this was like the most galaxy-brained take ever. And galaxy-brained is not a compliment. It was the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Because for one thing, Bellator does not pay a lot. It really doesn't. Probably won't see what the fight purses were for this fight. But I doubt Deanna Bennett made a whole ton of money. And every time you miss weight, you give up money. Sometimes it's progressive. The more weight you miss, the more of your purse you give up. So it's when you're not making a ton of money to begin with, it's not worth it. And then this is what really makes this whole argument that Deanna missed weight on purpose dumb. It was a title fight. The whole purpose of a title fight is to win the title. But you can't win the title if you miss weight. So what reason would there be to miss weight on purpose, to blow weight on purpose, to have an advantage, if the whole reason to have an advantage, winning, doesn't even get you anything? Because the sole purpose of getting into a title fight is to win the title. But you can't win the title if you blow weight. So that dumb argument just gave me another reason to dislike Liz Carmouche. I don't understand. I don't understand this argument at all. Who's going to blow weight on purpose in a title fight? The whole purpose of getting into a title fight is to win the title so that you can actually start making better money and to be a champion. But more important than that is more money. But if you blow weight, not only are you giving up money, you're giving up the title, which is the whole purpose of a title fight. So which is it? Is Deanna Bennett truly that dumb? Or is Liz Carmouche truly that dumb for thinking that way? I'll let you decide. I know what I think, but I'll let you decide. All right, so that's all I really had for you tonight. Not the best live show I've ever done, but we got a live show done. And it's a start. First, WMA report I've done in a while, and we got it done. So I'm going to go ahead and close up. So please don't forget to hit that like button. It helps draw people to the stream even after it ends. If you haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe to WMAC Now, the best, most complete women's mixed martial arts dedicated platform on YouTube. Bunch of fight announcements this week. I'm going to make a video on 2 of them tomorrow sometime, so keep an eye out for it. Easy E says, as much as I dislike Alima, Bellator needs her as champion again. I don't like Liz as champion. I don't want Alima as champion either, because I should probably make a video on that, because they're talking about doing those two against each other. That's definitely something that I don't want to see. But I'll make a video on that. I won't extend the stream any longer. Yeah, there were 2 fight announcements this weekend. One of them is an absolute grappling fan's delight, and the other is an absolute striking fan's delight. So I'm going to try to make a video comparing those 2 fights tomorrow. Got to get up early for both work and Ryzen. Oh, before I go, this coming week, I'm going to be in Denver. I'm flying out on Tuesday. I will be covering Invicta as credentialed media on Wednesday. So going to try to do the Invicta 53 preview for Sunday. And then Friday, I didn't apply for credentials for One Championship, but One Championship's coming to the US on Friday for the first time. And I got a ticket, so I'll be going. And if anybody happens to be out in that area, hit me up on Twitter at NowWMMA, at NOWWMMA, and we'll meet up, get a drink or something, and go watch the fights. Till then, it's been great talking to you all again, and probably do a live stream sometime next week, either before Invicta or after Invicta, or before one. Till next time, stay safe. We'll see you next time.